Welcome to Deploying an OVS-based feature switch in 5 minutes or less. In this demo, we will use the Faucet SDN controller to configure L2 and L3 forwarding between network namespaces on a Linux host. Let's begin. First thing I'm going to do is install Faucet from the Rian's GitHub repository using the pip. While we're waiting for that to install, let's take a look at the script. I'm going to configure OVS to have a bridge called BR0. That bridge will have a data path ID 1. It'll be configured with a local controller, and it'll be configured so that when OVS is not connected to the controller, there will be no forwarding between ports on the data path. Having configured that, we can see that the OVS system device exists in the topology. I have a little script here which will create network namespaces and pipe that through to OVS. When I run that script, you can see that it creates the foo namespace with the IP address 10.0.0.1 in the /24 subnet. That's assigned on a veth device within the namespace, which is also connected to the root namespace through to the OVS data path. I'm going to configure another network namespace. You can see bar here with the address 10.0.0.2. We would expect that if the OVS data path implements basic L2 functionality, then foo should be able to ping bar. Currently, the Faucet controller is not running, so it's unable to ping. Let's take a quick look at the Faucet YAML configuration. In the Faucet configuration, we have the data path ID 1. We have 2 ports, both existing on the VLAN 100. That VLAN segment also has a Faucet virtual IP, which Faucet will respond to. When we run our Faucet controller, it will start up, read our configuration file, and map that down to the OVS. As you can see, ping now operates correctly between foo and bar. If we bring the device bar down, then we see that the IP address is no longer accessible from foo. Next, we're going to create another namespace. This time, the namespace will be connected with an IP address in a different subnet. And we're going to configure it in a different VLAN segment and then perform routing over to the foo network namespace. In our Faucet YAML configuration, we're going to configure port 3 with the native VLAN 200. We're going to set up a Faucet virtual IP on that VLAN. And we're going to configure a router which bridges these 2 VLANs together. When I run the Faucet controller again, it will read the configuration and apply that back down to OVS. Now that the Faucet controller is up and running, we can see that it will respond to the virtual IPs that are configured for each of those VLANs. And once we've configured the routing for our network namespaces, they should be able to ping each other. As you can see, once we've configured the routes in both namespaces, foo can now ping BAS. So set up routing using Faucet. For more information on Faucet, visit faucetsdn.github.io.